Hello everyone. Today we will talk about data wrangling. I'm gonna walk you through a few exercises about understanding data, data issue, and data formatting. Uh, Let me go to Alteryx. I've already downloaded all the needed files. Our first exercise is about data understanding section, lesson number 12. Uh, in this exercise, we have data about customer store number. Anyhow, we need to calculate or we need to find out the stores that have more than 300 customers. So we have customer ID and we have store number. We need to calculate the count of customers per each store. To do that, we can use in transform group, we have summarize tool. It's like using a group by in SQL. Remember, we need to group by store here. So I'm gonna use store and select group by, and I need the count of stores per the count of customers per each store. So I'm gonna choose customer and count. You can see we have more than one count function here. We have count non-null, count distinct to avoid duplicate. Anyhow, I'm gonna use count. So now we have a count of customers per each store. Remember, I need only the stores with more than 300 customers. I can do that by using a filter tool. It's like using filter in Excel also. I can add criteria here. I'm gonna tell the filter tool that I need all the count with more than 300. So let me run this one. So the filter tool has two outcomes, T for true and F for false. The true outcome has the record, retrieve the records that meet our criteria here. So it has the record with more than 300 customers in each store. We can see we have 5 stores. Okay. Second, we need to find the city that has the most customers. Also, we can use another summarize tool. We can count the customers per city here. So choose city to group by and then customers to count. We have count of customers per city. Remember, I need the highest one, so I'm gonna use sort tool over here. I need to sort the count of customer descending. Okay, let me run it. Okay, we have Denver with 1166 customers, which is the highest customers. Okay, let's move on to our next exercise. This one is about data type. Okay, let's see here. We have transaction, customer ID, product name. We have sales and order ID. What are the total sales for order 10080? So we have order ID and we have sales. We can group by order ID to calculate the sum of sales. We're gonna use summarize again. So order ID group by and sales, I'm gonna sum it. Okay, here is the idea about this exercise. We cannot sum the sales here because it's string, it's not numeric, and we need to change it. We can change the data type. We can change the data type by using select tool. So we can see the sales has a string. We can change it to double, it's numeric. Now let's try. Now we can use sum. Okay, remember we need only the order number 10080. So I'm gonna use filter tool. So order ID equal 80. Let's run it. Okay, here is our answer. So remember guys, it's very important to use select tool to check your data type for your dataset before doing anything. Always remember to use select tool. Okay, let's move on to our next exercise, which is about data issues section, lesson number 7. This one is about dirty data. This is a good exercise for you, especially for your project. It's about parsing. Let us read the problem. We need to parse the phone number over here into 3 components or 3 fields. Area code for the first 3 numbers, numbering plan area for the second 3 numbers, and the last field for the last 4 numbers. So 3 numbers, 3 numbers, and then 4 numbers. We need to create 3 new columns here. To do that, we can use in parse group, we have text to columns tool. In the configuration area, we need to select the column we need to split. Now we have to tell the tool how this data will be delimited. Let's go back to the data. Okay, let's see between the first 3 and the second 3 numbers, we have closed parentheses, we have dash, and we have slash. For the second 3 numbers and the last 4 numbers, we have dashes. So I'm gonna tell this tool to split this column when we have closed parentheses, dash, and slash. Okay, let's run the model now. Okay, we can see the result. Now we have problem with the first column. We have open parentheses. We need to get rid of it. I can do that by using formula tool. Now, when we use formula tool, we need to select if we need to add new column to execute our formula, or we need to execute our formula in one of the existing columns. We need to change column number 1. So I'm gonna use replace char or CHER. this function replace character in text variable with another one. We choose it. So here the variable is 1. The character I need to replace is open parenthesis, and I need to replace it with nothing. Let me run it again. Okay, we're good. Okay, I can do it with using another tool. Instead of using formula, I can use data cleansing tool. This is very good tool to use. You can try to you can try and select all these options. You can try more than one dataset and choose all these options. But for us, we need only to clean column number 1. And we have parentheses, which is punctuation. So I'm gonna run it like this. See, it's cleaned. We have the same result here. Okay, now let's move on to the next exercise. This is also about dirty data. Okay, let me see here. We have phone number also. In this exercise, we need to have only one format for all the values. So we need to have format like 3 numbers dash, 3 numbers dash, and the last 4 numbers. In order to do that, we can use formula tool. We can use the same formula we used before. You know what? I'm gonna add new column to show you the difference. I'm gonna name it like a new font. Okay. Replace char. I need the font. Let's back to the. Okay. Remember, we need 3 numbers dash, 3 numbers dash. So after the first 3 numbers, we have closed parentheses, we have dash, and we have slash. So I'm gonna replace the closed parentheses and the slash with dash. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, I made a mistake. Not the open, the close. Okay. Okay, now it's good, but we still have one problem, open parentheses. Okay, we can add a new formula here. We can use this one like this. Replace char or char. Now we have the new column. We need to select a new column. Open parentheses with nothing. Let me run it again. Oops. Okay, let's see what's wrong here. Oh, we didn't select the column. Okay, let's run it again. Okay. We have problem here. Okay, what's wrong? Let's go back to our formula. Oh, see. We didn't replace the close parenthesis and the slash with the dash. Okay, let's do it again now. Now we're good. See? Okay, let's move on. Exercise number 5. Okay, let's see the data set here. This is about how to deal with the missing data and the effect of your solution on the dataset. Uh, in this exercise, I will combine two exercises in data issue section, lesson number 23 and lesson number 27. And I will change a bit in the exercise. Okay, where's the data? Okay, we have this data set. First, we need to remove all the rows with the missing values from the dataset. And second, uh, we need to replace any value that is missing in the average number of tickets with the mean of the average number of tickets. So we have two methods here to apply. First, to remove all the records with the missing values, and the second, to do imputation or to replace the missing value with the mean, for example, here. So we're gonna do that, then we're gonna compare the two results. Okay, deleting the records with missing value, we can simply use filter. But first, before we do that, let's check which fields has missing values. We can do that by using one of my favorite tools, which is field summary. We're gonna choose all the variables, and I'm gonna add browse after reports. Okay, let me run it. We can check the missing value percentage here. So we can notice that we have 10% missing values in average number of tickets and so on. So in all of our variables, we have missing data, but in client ID. Okay, so now after we know uh, the fields with the missing values, I'm gonna use filter. Where is it? Over here. Okay, client ID has no missing values, so average number is not null. Then I'm gonna add another filter to the T output. Number of employees is not null. Another filter. Value of contra is not null. Another one. Industry is not null. Now I have clean dataset with no missing values. See, we can see from here all green. We don't have any other color here. Yep, so we have clean dataset. Now, the other solution for dealing with missing data is to impute the missing values or to replace it, for example, with an average or mean. I'm gonna only replace the average number of tickets here. We're gonna take it for example. So You learn how to replace it by using summarize tool, adding the mean to your dataset, then replace the missing value with the mean value. Uh, you learn how to do that in the learning videos. Here I'm gonna use imputation tool. It's the same result. Okay, imputation. Remember, fields to impute, I need to change the average number of tickets with the median. So let me run it. This is the new field. See, no missing data here. So now we have these two methods. We need to check the impact of these two methods on our data. To do that, we can plot like two variables and see the relation between them. For example, I'm gonna add scatter plot. Uh, I'm gonna choose number of employees and number of tickets here. Then I'm gonna add browse. Also here I'm gonna add scatter plot, number of employees and average number of tickets. Or let me use the new one, add browse. Now let me run both of them. Okay, the first plot. Okay, the second plot. Oh, you didn't let me see. Uncheck the smooth line. Let's run it again. Sorry about that. It's gonna take a few seconds. See, the slope of the line between the two variables changed between the two methods. So we need to check and decide which method is best for us to use. This is example how you can deal with the missing information or missing values and how you can see the effect of your methods on your dataset. Okay, let's move on to our next exercise. Or this is not exercise. We're gonna talk a little bit about outliers here. We're gonna use Excel. Okay, we have dataset with age and income. First, let's talk about outliers. What is outliers? It's the extreme values or the weird values in our dataset. It could be because it's wrong data, like wrong data entry, or because it's abnormal data. It's accurate data, but it's simply abnormal. Uh, Anyhow, our mission is to have the data close to the reality as possible. Now, in this course, you will use box and whisker plot to find the outliers. If the value is 1.5 times the interquartile range of dataset, then it can be outlier. Okay, let's see how this gonna work. Okay, first we need to calculate the first quartile. We can use function quartile. Uh, for each, I need the first quartile. Then this one is for income. For the third quartile, 3. Is it like 3? Okay, we're good. Now the interquartile range, it's the third quartile minus the first quartile. Now, let me show you this in plot, in whisker plot in Alteryx. Let me show you how to create whisker plot in Alteryx. This is the same dataset. I'm gonna create a whisker plot for income variable. We can do that by using, in reporting group, we have interactive chart tool. This is very nice tool. Okay. First we're gonna add layer. The type, I need box and whisker. On the y-axis I'm gonna choose income. I'm gonna add another layer to see the distribution of the data. I'm gonna keep it scatter and I'm gonna choose income. Okay, let me add browse and run this workflow. Okay, so this is the whisker plot and this is the data for income variable. Okay, this is the first quartile and this is the third quartile. Let's go back to Excel. Income. See the first quartile, which is 28 grand. See, 28 grand. And the third one, which is 31,750 or close to 32. So the area between the 32 grand and 28 grand is the interquartile range, this one, which is 3 grand 750, this one here. In this area, we have 75% of our data distributed only in this area. Now, this is the highest area, this is the highest value we have in our data set, which is 38 grand. And this is the lowest value, which is 25 grand. Now, we need to calculate the upper fence, which is, as we said, the upper fence is the third quartile plus 1.5 times the interquartile range, and the lower fence is the first quartile minus 1.5 times the range. So any value in range higher than 47 or lower than 12 is to be considered as an outlier, and the same for income. So 37,375. So it's somewhere here. So if we can draw a line, we can see that we have one value as outlier, which is 38K. And for the lower fence, 22. Okay, let's see. We don't have values with less than 22K, so we only have one outlier for the income variable. What about the age? More than 47. Okay, we have three values. How about less than 12? We don't have, so we only have three and one for the income. Now, remember, we have two types of outliers. One because of, let's say, mistakes like wrong data entry, and one because it's abnormal values, but it's correct values like this one. But for this one, we're talking about age. It cannot be like 560 years. Most probably it's only 56 years. So let's go back to 500. Let's see the impact of if we want to change the outliers values or we need to delete the outliers records. Let's see the impact on our dataset. Let me plot this dataset. Insert. Okay. Uh, Let me add, for example, linear regression line. I'm gonna add the equation to it. So this is the equation with my current dataset. So what will happen if I change this one to 56? See, it's a huge difference between this one. I have the slope line here 73, while here it's 16. Okay, what will happen if I delete all the outliers? See, it's a huge difference between the two methods. If I keep it as it is, or if I change the wrong data, or if I delete the whole outliers records. So you need to choose which method is better for you. And even if you choose to delete the outliers, you need to run your model in both scenarios, with outliers and without outliers, and show the difference between the two scenarios. Anyhow, that was about outliers in this session. So let's move to our next exercise. In our next exercise, we're gonna talk. Oh, what do we have here? Let's close this. This is our final exercise in this session. Uh, we're gonna talk about the crosstab tool here. Uh, this exercise in data formatting section, lesson number 12. We need to find out what is the number of enrollment for the city Laramie, where type equal VOC take other. Okay, first let's use summarize tool here. Again, let's go to the data. We need to group by city and by type to sum the enrollments. So I'm gonna choose city. what is the type? Type also group by, and I need to sum enrollment. Let me run this one. So we have data group by city type sum enrollment. Remember, I need only Laramie and take other. So I'm gonna, what is, okay, let me copy this one first. Okay, we can filter this summary. Okay, let's try something new here. Let's write the formula. Okay, the city should be equal to, and type should be equal to, this is the way to write down the formula by yourself instead of using the basic filter technique. So let me run it again. Okay, this is our answer for this question, but we can do it in other way. What if I want to show the data city in rows and type in columns and enrollment, total enrollment between? So like city here and type here as columns. We can do that by using cross tab. It's like using pivot table in sorry, in Excel, where we can create matrix and yeah, something like matrix. So matrix. In this one, for the row, I'm gonna group by city. For the column, as we said, I'm gonna group by type. Where is it? Okay. So the value, remember, I need to sum enrollment. I need to use sum. We can use average, count, whatever we need to aggregate. Okay, let's do it now. See, now we have rows for city and we have columns for types, and we have the sum of enrollment. For example, for city regular, we have this number. For take other, we have this number. Now remember, we need only the city Laramie. Okay, Laramie. We can add another filter tool. Sorry. We can just type it like this and run it. See, 141, the same result. This is very nice tool to use in your work as an analyst. You can change the format of your tables. You can use this format or you can use this format according to your need. Anyhow, that was our last exercise. Now we're gonna have Q&A session for a few minutes. So please prepare your questions and I'm gonna answer it right away. But let me stop the broadcasting.